Hurricanes in the real world aren't just about wind and rain. They can leave lasting effects on people who go through them. Experiencing a storm can be scary, stressful, and even traumatic, especially for children. The sudden chaos, power outages, flooding, and the uncertainty can cause emotional and psychological challenges that last long after the storm passes. People can feel anxious, jumpy, or unsafe, and it often takes time, support, and reassurance to feel normal again. In this video, we explore not just the storm itself, but how it affects minds, emotions, and communities through the lens of the characters in Arthur. The episode opens at the ice cream shop. Brain is showing off a special globe he made himself. He took a normal globe from a kit and added a touchscreen that bends. It shows how much he loves science. He's excited and curious about the hurricane and not scared at all. This is Brain's way of staying calm. He studies the storm like it's a puzzle. LaDonna tells him he sure knows a ton about hurricanes. Brain says they're really interesting and calls them the strongest storms on Earth and points out that winds can blow faster than 200 miles per hour. LaDonna admits she thinks they're scary. She remembers a few hurricanes from back in Louisiana and says the best advice is always to be prepared. Muffy brags that her family is prepared and ready. She lists their supplies and invites everyone to her hurricane party that night, but they all politely decline. Brain puts a tub of ice cream on the counter and tells Muffy to take it for her party. He explains that if the power goes out at the shop, the ice cream will just melt anyway. Soon, everyone else shares that their families are having parties too, so Brain will give them ice cream as well. This little moment at the ice cream shop may seem minor, but it actually reveals the current mindset of the characters. Brain loves science and studies the storm like it's a cool experiment. LaDonna feels real fear because she's lived through hurricanes before. It's also implied that she's a Hurricane Katrina survivor. Muffy treats it like a fun excuse for a fancy get-together because her family has resources to fall back on. Buster and Arthur try to act normal and brush it off. What makes this opening work so well is how calm it feels. The kids are sitting around eating ice cream, talking like they always do, but the conversation slowly turns towards something much bigger than them. Each character reacts differently, which quietly sets up the roles they will play later. Brain becomes the one who explains what's happening, LaDonna the voice of experience, and Muffy tries to control the situation by turning it into something comfortable and familiar. This reflects how people react in real life before a disaster. Some focus on facts, some prepare, and others try to laugh it off because thinking about the worst case is too frightening. The show doesn't rush the tension. It lets the audience sit with the uneasy feeling that something serious is coming.
Here it is, Hurricane Sadie, as big as France and heading towards Elwood City.
You actually made this?
The globe came from a kit and I just layered a flexible touchscreen over it. It wasn't that hard.
Why did they name it Sadie? It seems too nice a name for a hurricane.
They should have called it something scary, like Nigel.
It has to begin with an S. They're all named alphabetically by the World Meteorological Organization.
You sure know a lot about hurricanes.
They're fascinating. They're the most powerful storms on the planet. Did you know the winds can gust over 200 miles an hour?
I just think they're scary. We had a couple back in Louisiana, and all I can say is, be prepared. Oh, the Crossfires are super prepared. We have a generator, tons of spring water, both sparkling and still, and 3 cases of smoked trout.
Aren't you gonna get sick of eating fish?
Probably, but Daddy can't resist a sale. We're having a hurricane party tonight. Wanna come?
No,
sorry. Suit yourself.
Here, Muffy, take some ice cream for your party. If the shop loses power, it'll all just melt.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We're having a party too.
Yeah, so are we. Me too. Big party.
Brain and his dad are working fast. They hammer wooden boards over the windows of their family ice cream shop because a big hurricane is coming, and they want to protect the place from flying debris or broken glass. This shows us how serious the storm feels. The shop isn't just a business, it's their second home. Boarding it up is like putting on armor before a fight. Then Brain stops for a second because he remembers something important. He left his special globe inside, the one he built to track the hurricane. That globe means a lot to him. It's not just a toy, it's proof of his curiosity about the weather. His dad asks if he wants to go back and grab it. Most kids might say yes immediately, but Brain thinks for a moment and says no. He'll get it tomorrow. He still needs to set up his anemometer, a tool he's going to use to measure how fast the wind blows. Brain is super into science. He wants to watch the storm like a real meteorologist. He even sounds a little excited about the strong winds coming, so he chooses his wind measuring tool over saving his favorite project for now. At first, this seems like a small, smart choice. Brain trusts the storm won't be too bad. He thinks the shop will be fine and that the globe will be safe inside. This decision shows how Brain starts out seeing the hurricane almost like a fun science experiment. He's focused on learning from predicament. He doesn't know the storm will hit harder than he expects. It's a perfect example of something we all do sometimes. We get caught up in being curious or prepared in one way and miss the bigger risk right in front of us. Brain thinks he's being logical, but logic doesn't always protect the things that matter most.
Well, that should do it.
Oh, I left my weather globe inside.
Should we get it?
No, that's all right. I'll just pick it up tomorrow. Plus, I still have to set up my anemometer to measure the wind speed. We should have invested in a digital barometer to measure the storm's pressure, but I just really like the way the aneroid ones look.
That night, the hurricane finally hits Elwood City. The storm is strong and loud. Everyone feels it in their own way. At Arthur's house, the family sits together watching the weather report on TV. The reporter talks about the hurricane getting closer. Suddenly, the power goes out. Arthur and DW look a little scared. Mrs. Reed stays calm and tells them not to worry. They're safe. DW even turns to baby Kate and Pal, repeating the same words, which shows the viewers, even little kids, want to help others feel okay during scary times. This also shows us how families stick together. Being inside with loved ones makes you feel protected, even when the storm shakes everything outside. At Brain's house, he is wide awake and excited. He checks his anemometer. To him, this is a cool science experiment, getting real data from a real hurricane, but we know what's coming, and his excitement won't last. Right now, though, Brain doesn't see the danger. He just sees numbers. This contrast is important because it shows how Brain treats the hurricane like a fun puzzle. But storms aren't just data, they change lives. At Muffy's fancy house, the crosswires are about to eat dinner. Lights are bright, everything looks perfect. Then the power goes out, darkness everywhere, but the family has prepared. Bailey, their butler, quickly turns on a big generator outside. The lights come back on and dinner can continue. This shows how money and preparation help some people recover faster. It makes you think, when a big storm hits, does everyone face the same danger, or do some bounce back faster because they have more resources?
Gust winds will just miss downtown Elwood City, but the area bordering the river will be hit very hard.
Ah!
Don't worry, we're safe.
Don't worry, we're safe. 109.5, 109.7. Woohoo! We just hit 110 kilometers per hour winds.
Dinner!
Be right there. This is amazing.
To spending Hurricane Sadie all together, except for Chipster, who's soaking up the sun at Tallahassee Tech. Bailey?
I'm on my way, Mr. Crosswire.
And to being prepared.
At LaDonna's house, they're playing charades, laughing and joking. Her dad gets a phone call. He's in the Army Corps of Engineers, helping fix things after disasters. The Katzenellenbogen River is overflowing because of the hurricane. He has to leave immediately, which means he might miss LaDonna's birthday in a few days. Birthdays are special, especially when her dad is usually there, but his work is important. He helps keep people safe. This part hits hard because it shows that the hurricane doesn't just bring wind and rain, it pulls families apart. These scenes together paint a bigger picture. One storm hits the whole city, but each family feels it differently. Some stay calm and safe inside. Some get excited about the science. Some use money to keep lights on, and some face real sacrifice.
Rufus Compson here.
Yes, I can. I can tell what you're
Oh,
thinking
hello,
right
sir.
now.
Okay, what?
Can you hold on for one moment, please?
You're thinking that Bud Thompson sure is a strange one.
Yeah, but I'm usually thinking that, so it's kind of cheating.
The Katzenellenbogen River is starting to overflow. They need the Army Corps of Engineers down there. I have to report for duty as soon as the winds die down.
How long will you be gone for?
My birthday's this Thursday. Will you be back in time?
I don't know, sport, but I'll try my hardest.
The next morning, the sun comes up, but things don't look normal. Hurricane Sadie left marks all over Elwood City. At Muffy's house, the power is still out, and water from the flood reached the first floor. It's only a little, but enough to make everything wet and messy. Muffy wakes up, tries to turn on her bedroom light, but it doesn't work. She calls Bailey, who explains the electricity is out, and hands her rain boots. This is a big change from Muffy, who usually has everything perfect. Even rich kids can feel small when nature hits hard, though their resources help them recover faster. At Arthur's house, he watches the news. Houses near the river had to be evacuated quickly. A photo shows a dog standing alone on a flooded roof. Over at the Reed's yard, LaDonna and Bud come to help. They clean up branches and fix Pal's doghouse. Arthur explains the abandoned animals on TV, and LaDonna promises to tell her dad to watch for strays next time. Arthur says he didn't know her dad was in the army. LaDonna says his job is important, but sometimes he misses important events, like Thanksgiving and her first school play. Later, walking home, LaDonna tells Bud why she wants to skip her birthday. If her dad can't be there, she feels it's better not to celebrate at all. These morning scenes show how the hurricane affected everyone differently. Muffy loses comfort and must adapt. Arthur sees problems and wants to help. LaDonna carries a secret worry about her dad and her birthday. The storm didn't just break things outside. It stirred up emotions like fear, caring, and disappointment, but also brought friends together to help and talk about their problems.
Alas, we've lost power and have had a bit of flooding. Galoshes, Miss Muffy?
While Elwood City avoided a direct hit, many homes by the river have had to be evacuated. Some people even had to leave their pets behind.
Can you imagine having to leave your pet behind? I feel so bad for those people and their pets.
When I talk to my dad, I'll ask him if he's seen any strays. They sent the Army Corps of Engineers down there this morning.
I didn't know your dad was in the Army.
Yeah, the Army Corps of Engineers mainly designs, builds, and fixes stuff. And his job is really important when there's an emergency like this.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. Except when he has to miss really big events, like one Thanksgiving and my first school play.
Oh, that is kind of rough. Well, it's only early June, so he probably won't miss any big events this time.
That's not true. He could miss...
Bud Compton, mind your own beeswax.
Okay. What? What's he gonna miss?
Nothing. There, good as new.
Why don't you want Arthur to know it's your birthday?
I don't want him feeling sorry for me. In fact, if Dad's away, I think I'll just skip my birthday this year.
You can't do that. How will you get older?
I'm still gonna turn 9, Turnip Head. I just won't celebrate it.
But not celebrating your birthday, it's against the laws of nature.
Oh, relax. It's just a day like any other. There's a lot worse things than missing a birthday.
Outside the Powers ice cream shop, a big tree has fallen. Mr. Powers says insurance will cover the repairs. Brain stares at the shop, confused and upset, and says why them? Neighboring buildings are fine. No trees fell on them. Only their shop was hit hard. But storms don't care about fairness. Sometimes bad luck happens. Now he sees that science and planning can't prevent everything. His dad pulls Brain's special globe from the rubble. It's cracked and broken. The screen smashed. Brain takes it carefully, but more of the ceiling falls inside. For the first time, he isn't thinking like a scientist. He's a kid watching something important get destroyed. Later, Brain sits alone, trying to fix the globe. He glues pieces carefully, but the wind outside reminds him of the hurricane. He freezes, then angrily throws the globe into the trash. The storm didn't just damage the shop, it damaged Brain's psyche. Fear turned curiosity into worry, and preparation into regret.
Okay, thank you. Insurance will cover the damage. It'll take a while, but we're gonna rebuild this.
I don't understand. We prepared. We did everything we were supposed to.
Hurricanes are unpredictable.
But look at the rest of the street. Not a single other shop was damaged. What are the chances of that happening?
It is strange, but sometimes these things just happen. Hey, look, it's your weather globe. Maybe you can fix it.
At school, Arthur cannot stop thinking about the dog he saw on TV during the storm coverage. The image lingers in his mind, reminding him that the hurricane affected animals as well as people. Buster suggests calling the animal shelter to help, showing how the kids want to do something positive after the disaster. Meanwhile, Muffy asks Brain how he is doing after the ice cream shop was damaged. Before he can answer, she quickly shifts to her own problem. her house flooded, and now her family has to stay in a hotel. This brief exchange reveals something important. Everyone was affected by the storm, and sometimes no one has the space to really listen. Brain looks exhausted and jumpy, showing just how much the experience shook him. Later in class, he suddenly realizes he forgot his school books. For someone normally so prepared, this is a big deal. It shows how the storm left him stressed, distracted, and overwhelmed.
Can't stop thinking about that poor dog I saw on TV. What if that were Pal? I'd be worried sick about him.
I remember how sad I was when I lost Pierre.
Pierre?
My pet rock. I had him in the pocket of my bathing suit when I went to the beach last summer. If only I had taught him how to swim. Hey, you should call the animal shelter. Maybe you could help out in some way.
That's a great idea. Thanks.
Do it for Pierre.
Brain, I just heard about the ice cream shop. That's so terrible. How are you feeling?
Okay, a little jumpy, but...
Did you hear what happened to me? Our house was destroyed.
What?
Well, not exactly destroyed, but our first floor got flooded and we have no power. We have to move to a hotel.
Oh, that's terrible. I
know. It only has 4 stars. Although there is a jacuzzi in every room. But, oh, Francine, did you hear what happened to me?
All right, settle down. I know the hurricane has affected us all, but I think it's a good idea if we jump right back into schoolwork. Please open your history books to Chapter 7.
Mr. Ratburn? I seem to have left all of my books at home.
Oh, that's okay, Alan. You can use mine.
Meanwhile, the Crosswire family learns that every hotel in town is full, forcing them to move into a shelter. So far, the episode is showing how disasters affect everyone differently. Some lose homes, while others lose their sense of normal life. Brain's struggle continues that night when the wind picks up again. Even that small sound scares him. He rushes to barricade his window, showing how deeply the storm affected him. Before, Brain trusted science and preparation to keep him safe. Now, even a little wind makes him panic. His parents notice his fear and promise to help him.
Alan, are you okay?
I have to put something against the window.
Why?
That tree outside. It could fall into this room any minute.
That's not gonna happen.
You can't be sure. You said it yourself. Sometimes these things just happen.
Here, get back into bed. I'll sit here until you fall asleep.
Are we all gonna be okay?
Yes, I promise. And in the morning, we'll talk about some ideas that might help you feel better.
It is nighttime at the shelter. The large room is quiet, except for the sound of snoring. Mr. and Mrs. Crosswire are fast asleep, but Muffy cannot sleep. The shelter feels strange and uncomfortable compared to the quiet, fancy home she is used to. She walks over to a buffet table and grabs a piece of cheese, but another girl her age warns her not to eat it, joking that it tastes like glue. Instead, she points Muffy towards some granola bars and introduces herself as Kaylee Lamont, calling herself the mayor of the shelter. Kaylee explains that she and her mom evacuated before Hurricane Sadie, so she already knows the shelter well. When Muffy complains about the loud snoring, Kaylee gives her earplugs and jokes that sometimes she even wears earmuffs too. Soon she offers to show Muffy the best part of the shelter. The girls run down the hallway and slide across the smooth floor, laughing like it is a playground, until an older woman scolds them and they hurry away, still giggling. It is a small moment, but an important one. At first, Muffy feels completely out of place in the shelter. Meeting Kaylee helps her relax and adapt. For the first time since the storm, Muffy gets to laugh and feel like a normal kid again.
I wouldn't eat that cheese. Tastes like glue. But there are oat and cranberry granola bars on the bottom. Thanks. I'm Muffy. Kaylee Lamont, mayor of the shelter. Really? Well, not officially, but I know this place inside and out. My mom and I were evacuated before Hurricane Sadie hit. How on earth do you get any sleep? It's like a snore factory in here. Earplugs. And if those don't work, I use earplugs and earmuffs. That's a great idea! What? I said... I'm just kidding ya. Come on, I'll show you the best part about this place.
Him!
Oh, sorry.
Later, the Powers family visits a therapist because Brain has been acting differently since the hurricane. His dad explains that Brain has been jumpy and unable to sleep, so their pediatrician suggested therapy. Dr. Paula agrees it was a good idea. Brain quickly insists he is fine, but his body language shows otherwise. Dr. Paula asks to speak with him alone and calls him by his real name, Alan. When he nervously says he is not crazy, she calmly reassures him that no one thinks he is. She explains that anyone would feel shaken if a hurricane destroyed something important to them. As they talk, Brain begins to open up. He remembers seeing the ice cream shop after the storm with a huge tree sticking out of the building. What bothers him most is that they did everything right. They prepared and boarded up the windows, but the damage still happened. After talking for a while, Brain finally admits his biggest fear. If the hurricane could destroy their store, what is stopping it from destroying his house or even his school? He says he feels like he may never feel safe again. Dr. Paula listens and explains that feeling safe again takes time. Just then, wind rattles the window blinds and Brain immediately tenses up. Dr. Paula closes the blinds and reminds him that fear after something traumatic does not disappear overnight, but they will work through it together. This scene highlights the episode's main message. The hurricane may be over, but the emotional impact remains. Brain once understood storms only through science and numbers, but now he understands the fear that comes with living through one.
He's been really jumpy and having trouble sleeping, so our pediatrician suggested we see a therapist.
I think that was a good idea.
I'm fine, really. You guys don't have to worry about me.
You know what? Why don't you let Alan and I talk alone for a little bit? Would that be okay with you, Alan?
You can call me Brain. Everyone else does.
Okay, and you can call me Dr. Paula.
I'm not crazy, you know.
Who said anything about being crazy? Please, if a hurricane destroyed my office, I'd be a little jumpy too. How do you feel right now?
Great. Okay. A little nervous, I guess.
So tell me, what was it like when you saw the shop after the hurricane? Kind of shocking, right?
Yes. There was this tree sticking out of it and, we did everything we were supposed to. And if that could happen to our store, why not our house? Or my school? I'll never feel safe again.
Oh, I think you will. But things happen in their own time.
Is that clock right? Have I really been talking for an hour?
Yep. Time flies when you're having fun, huh? And when you're in therapy. How are you feeling now?
Better. Hey, maybe I'm cured.
Listen, it's going to take a little time to feel safe again. It doesn't just heal overnight. But we're going to work on this together, okay?
Back at the shelter, Muffy walks over to Kaylee, who is putting on her jacket. Muffy complains about the shelter. She says she misses her bedroom, her walk-in closet, and even her whirlpool bathtub. The shelter still feels strange and uncomfortable to her. Then she notices Kaylee getting ready to leave. Muffy worries she will be stuck there alone. Kaylee explains that she and her mom are going to check on their house. They have not seen it since the hurricane hit. She asks Muffy if she wants to come with them. Muffy agrees, but first she says she needs to tell her dad where she is going. A little while later, Muffy arrives with Kaylee and her mom. The house is badly damaged. Parts of the roof are torn apart, and some of the walls are broken. Muffy stops and stares at the damage. She apologizes to Kaylee. Until now, she did not realize how serious things were for some families. Kaylee begins to cry and hugs her mom, and Muffy just stands there silently, not knowing what to do. This moment is important for Muffy's character. Earlier, she mostly complained about missing her comfortable life, but seeing Kaylee's damaged home helps her understand the storm in a new way. For some families, the hurricane was not just inconvenient, it completely changed their lives.
I can't believe I'm still here. I miss my room, my walk-in closet, my whirlpool bathtub. Wait, are you leaving? Great, now I'll be all alone. My mom and I are just going to look at our house. We haven't seen it since the hurricane. Want to come? Okay, I'll just let Dad know where I'm going. Kaylee, I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
In the therapy room, Dr. Paula teaches Brain a breathing exercise. Brain jokes that he already knows how to breathe and has been doing it for 9 years. Dr. Paula laughs and explains that this kind of breathing is for moments when fear takes over. She shares that before seeing performances, she also gets nervous and feels like fear becomes a bully in her head. Focusing on her breathing helps her push back against that feeling. She encourages Brain to try it the next time the wind scares him. The moment feels honest and supportive. Brain believes his intelligence should solve everything, but fear does not always listen to logic. Instead of dismissing him, Dr. Paula shares her own experiences and gives him a simple tool to manage his anxiety. The scene shows therapy as teamwork against fear, not something to be ashamed of. Later that night, the wind and rain return. Brain stands by the window with his dad and tries the breathing exercise, but he says it is not working. Frustrated, he jokes that they should move to the Sahara Desert so no trees can fall on them. His dad responds with encouragement, telling him that he's the smartest and bravest person he knows and that he will overcome this fear. Then Brain does something meaningful. He reaches into the trash and pulls out his broken globe, the one he threw away when he felt overwhelmed. Now he holds onto it again. The wind still scares him and the breathing has not solved everything yet, but this moment shows progress. With support from Dr. Paula and his family, Brain begins to understand that bravery is not the absence of fear. It is facing that fear and trying again. The episode reminds viewers that fear after something traumatic is normal. Talking to someone, learning coping tools, and having support from family can slowly help that fear fade. Storms may shake the world outside and sometimes the one inside, but with time, people can begin to feel steady again.
And exhale.
No offense, Dr. Paula, but I know how to breathe. I've been doing it for 9 years.
I know. You seem like an old pro. I'm teaching you how to breathe when you feel afraid. I bet you didn't know that sometimes I sing. And every time before I perform, I'm a mess. This fear climbs inside of me and takes over like a bully inside my head. Focusing on your breath is one way to stand up to the bullying fear. So the next time the wind blows, you give it a try.
It's not working. Maybe we should just move to the Sahara Desert. No trees can fall on you there.
Alan, you're the smartest, bravest, most determined person I know. You're gonna beat this.
The next day after school, Mr. Crosswire brings good news. The floodwater is gone from their house, and workers have finished cleaning it up. The Crosswire family can finally move back home, but Muffy asks her dad to stop by the shelter first. She finds Kaylee and her mom. The two girls became friends while staying at the shelter during Hurricane Sadie. Kaylee helped Muffy adjust to shelter life, showing her how to laugh and make the best of a difficult situation. Now Muffy wants to return the kindness. She invites Kaylee and her mom to stay at the Crosswire mansion until their house is rebuilt. Kaylee is touched and thanks her, but explains that they already arranged to stay with relatives. This moment highlights Muffy's growth. Before the storm, she mostly focused on her own comfort and luxury, but her time in the shelter helped her see how differently the hurricane affected other families. While her family was able to recover quickly, others lost much more. Even though Kaylee politely declines, Muffy's offer still matters. It shows she has developed empathy and genuinely wants to help her friend. At the same time, Kaylee's response reminds us that helping also means respecting what others need. The scene nicely completes Muffy's arc, showing how the storm pushed her out of her comfort zone and helped her grow into a more thoughtful and caring friend.
Your chariot awaits, madame.
Where's Bailey?
Oh, he couldn't make it, Muffin, because he's preparing our welcome back dinner. We're going home.
Oh, I can't wait to see my room, my bed, my flat screen HD.
What's wrong, Cream Puff?
Nothing. It's just... Can we stop off somewhere before going home? You want us to move in with you? I've got it all figured out. We have a charming guest suite. Or, if you don't like that, we can put you in the carriage house. Or, Muffy, that's really nice of you, but we can't. We're going to stay at my uncle's in Florida while our house gets rebuilt. But I appreciate the offer. Hey, do you think we could ever be like, you know, friends? Are you kidding? After what we've been through?
On On LaDonna's birthday, she tries to treat it like a normal day. She goes to school and does her work, but she feels disappointed when no one says happy birthday. Her dad is still away helping with storm cleanup, and although she said she didn't want to party without him, part of her hope someone will remember. In class, Mr. Ratburn begins praising a student, and LaDonna briefly thinks it might be about her birthday. Instead, he congratulates Arthur for creating a website called Help After Sadie, which helps reunite pets lost during the hurricane with their owners. Arthur proudly shows the sites to the class. It features photos of missing animals, messages from owners, and ways people can help. Arthur's project shows how the characters are coping with the storm in different ways. Arthur turns his concern into action by helping reunite lost pets with their families. His website becomes a small but meaningful way the community begins to heal.
Today is my birthday, but Daddy's not here, so there won't be any fun.
LaDonna, hurry up! You're going to be late for school!
I just want today to be normal, but Compsons can't resist the urge to throw a party. Guess I'll just pretend to have a good time. Okay, where's everybody?
Gussie and Madison left for school already.
I'd wish you a happy birthday, but you told me not to, so I'm respecting your wishes.
Good.
Normally, I don't like to take class time for such things, but I must wish one of our students
Here it comes.
a big congratulations. Arthur Reed has built a very helpful website. Arthur?
Help After Sadie is a site dedicated to reuniting pets and owners who were separated by the hurricane. My mom and I found some of their stories online. They're really moving.
He looks tough, but Winston's just a big softie.
We last saw her about 7, after her dinner.
Jack is, well, he's my best friend.
All the money goes to the animal shelter, so please give what you can.
After school, LaDonna meets Buster, who says he wants to fix the treehouse that was damaged in the storm and asks for her help. When they arrive, it turns out to be a surprise. Her friends are waiting with balloons, cake, and presents. Even better, her dad managed to return briefly from his Army Corps work. The surprise changes LaDonna's outlook. She tried to ignore her birthday because her dad might miss it, but her friends show that celebrating still matters. Their effort reminds her that even when someone important can't always be there, the people around her still care.
Rats!
What are you doing with all that?
Oh, the treehouse was damaged by the storm. I'm gonna fix it. Yep, got everything I need right here.
You're gonna use glue?
Yeah? Why? Should I use something else? I've got some gum.
Come on, we have to pick up some tools first.
You'll help me?
Sure, why not? It's not like I've got anything better to do. Where's the damage? It looks fine to me.
You're right. That's so weird. What a surprise!
I knew it! I knew you were planning something. But how did you guys know it was my birthday? I didn't say anything.
I told him. I knew you wanted to party, even if you said you didn't. Told you I could read minds.
But there is something I don't think you were expecting.
I can't stay too long, but...
You made it!
Hey, where's Brain? He said he was gonna be here.
On his way to the party, Brain hears the wind rustling through the trees and briefly feels the same fear he felt during the hurricane. But this time he remembers Dr. Paula's advice and practices his breathing. The fear doesn't disappear completely, but it becomes manageable, and he keeps walking to the party. At the celebration, Brain gives LaDonna a special gift, his repaired globe. The screen now reads, "Happy birthday, LaDonna." Once broken by the storm, the globe is fixed again, which symbolizes Brain's progress and how the characters are slowly healing after the hurricane.
I'm smarter than you, I'm stronger than you, and I'm braver than you. You are not going to boss me around.
Best present ever!
Several weeks after the hurricane, the Powers ice cream shop finally reopens. The damage is repaired, the fallen tree is gone, and the shop feels bright and lively again. A crowd of kids fills the place with laughter and ice cream, celebrating the return of something familiar. The storm changed things, but the community made it through together. Kaylee is there with her new dog, Sadie. The same dog Arthur saw on the news. Kaylee adopted her after the storm, turning a sad story into a happy one. Arthur's website, helping reunite lost pets, played a part in moments like this, showing how small actions can help a community recover. Bud keeps joking that he can read LaDonna's mind, making silly guesses while she rolls her eyes and laughs. It's a reminder that even after something big and scary, some things stay the same. Brain sits with Dr. Paula, calmly sipping a smoothie. The wind outside is gentle now, and if it picks up, Brain knows what to do. Therapy helped him understand that fear after a disaster is normal, and that it can get better with time. The reopening of the shop becomes a symbol of recovery. Each character has grown in their own way. Brain learned how to manage his fear. Arthur helped others through action. Muffy developed empathy and friendship. LaDonna found joy even during a difficult time. And Kaylee gained a new companion in Sadie, the missing dog she adopted. The storm shook their world, but together they found their way back to normal.
Sadie, no! Ice cream is for people. Ugh, now that we've adopted a dog, I think we need to adopt a dog trainer. Since your website's doing so well, I think you should consider charging a fee to visit it.
Muffy, it's a charity.
Okay, what number am I thinking of now?
Infinity.
That's not a real number. Ah, but you were right anyway.
One Hurricane Sadie smoothie on the house.
Thanks. I love anything that's sweet. And frozen. So, Brain, you're finally back in the shop. How do you feel?
Thirsty.
And that's what makes this hurricane episode of Arthur so powerful. On the surface, it's a story about a storm hitting Elwood City, but underneath, it's really about how people deal with fear, loss, and uncertainty. The hurricane damages buildings, but it also shakes the characters emotionally. Brain has to face anxiety he never expected. Muffy learns empathy after seeing how deeply the storm affected other families. Arthur turns his concern into action by helping reunite lost pets. And LaDonna is reminded that even during hard times, the people who care about you will show up when it matters most. What makes the episode stand out is how realistic it feels. Disasters don't just end when the wind stops blowing. The emotional impact can last much longer, and everyone processes it differently. Tell me what you think of this episode in the comments below. Also, have you experienced any events that gave you some sort of PTSD? If so, tell me about it down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.